All right, guys, let's talk about Instagram Reels because this is one of the newest and coolest features on Instagram that's going to help get you a ton of visibility. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to navigate the platform, how to add music, text, filters, and how to get all of your video clips to align perfectly. So make sure that you watch all the way to the end. Hey beautiful creature, my name is Cyrissa and I have grown 3 six-figure companies exclusively with social media. And not only that, I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs around the world to show them exactly how to grow their businesses and make more money using social media. And I can't wait to show you how to do that today. So anytime a new platform comes out in social media world, I always encourage my clients to jump on board right away and be an early adopter. Because typically when Facebook or Instagram or YouTube comes out with a new feature, they reward the people who jump on first because not only are they helping them work out all the kinks, but they're giving that new tool tons of visibility. I found the first 2 weeks that I was using Reels, my reach on Reels was 20 times higher than my stories. Let that sink in. 20 times more. Now, obviously that reach is going to decline over time as more people use it, but if you can, I want you to jump on and be an early adopter. What I'm going to do in this video is not necessarily talk about strategy as much as I'm going to show you exactly how to use all of the features inside of Reels, because when I talked to my clients, many of them said that they'd never created a Reel because they didn't know how. Now I'm going to get rid of that fear and I'm going to help you feel empowered and know how exactly to create your first reel. So let me go ahead and switch over to my phone and I'm going to show you all of the basic things that you need to know right now. All right, so let me give you a little tour around Reels so you know exactly what you're doing, okay? Now, we're gonna go over these things in a minute, but for right now, I just wanna show you the basics. This button right here is obviously the recording button, and when you hold this down, you're gonna see a little red bar that starts to move across the top. It's gonna show you how much time you've used and how much time there's still remaining. Watch this. All right, so you know exactly how much time you've used. Now, once you've recorded a clip, you can do 3 things. Number 1, you can check it out, which is what I recommend. I'm gonna show you how to do that in a second. You can add another clip by pressing the record button again, or you can say that I'm finished and I wanna go ahead and go on to the next step by pressing this button. But I wanna come back to this one right here because this is what I like to do. I like to check and see how it looks because what I found is when you record clips, if you recorded 3 clips, you can't go back to the first one and edit it. You can only go back and edit the most recent one. So I like to check them as I go to make sure that everything's looking like it should. So I'm gonna press this button, but once I do, I want you to pay attention. There's gonna be 2 buttons that pop up like here and here. I want you to pay attention to those and then I'll explain what they do. So here we go, pressing this button right now. Okay, so you got to see the replay. Did you notice those 2 buttons? There's the trim button, the scissors, which I love to use. Actually, it might have been on this side. You saw it, you're smart. You don't need me to tell you which side it's on, but I love to use that button because you can trim the beginning or the ending of your video. If you got too long or you looked a little bit awkward, you can just use a slider and make that clip a little bit shorter. I use that all the time so that way you don't have that awkward moment where you're like, end motion, pause, end motion in between each clip. It makes it really flow a lot better. So I use the trimmer all the time. There's also the trash button. If you don't like how the clip looks or it wasn't really in sync with the music or the clip before it, you can go ahead and delete and then re-record, okay? So let's say for the sake of argument that I love how this video looks, it's perfect, obviously it's not. I'm gonna go ahead and press this button. Now, once I do, you're gonna see kind of, it almost looks like Instagram stories pops up here at the top. You're gonna see the option to add text, which I will show you how to do later, and a couple other features. For now, I just want you to see what that looks like because it's gonna preview my video, and then we're gonna go on to the final screen. I'll show you how to wrap it up, and then we'll go back and talk about some of these fun things, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and press this button right here to go to the next step. Okay, so you saw the preview of the video and now we're kind of here at the ending, and this is really important because I'm gonna go ahead and write a caption right here the way I would normally. Now I've already copied one to, there we go, I've already copied one to my clipboard and I put it right there. You're gonna put your captions, your @ mentions, your hashtags there just the way you normally would, okay? Now, to the left of that where it says cover, pro tip, take a selfie or a photo before you actually do your reel. and make a cover photo beforehand. So if you click on that cover, you can either use a clip from your reel or you can add from camera roll. And that's what I like to do because then I can add some text over top of it. So you're gonna see once my camera roll decides to load, super awkward timing for it to be slow. There we go. I'm gonna pull that graphic right there. Now here's something you need to know. All right, when you add your text, you want to add it at the top and at the bottom, because if you share it to your grid, then you are going to see the middle section. It's going to crop it just like a square, right? Like Instagram normally does. We have squares in our grid. Well, it's going to take the center square from your cover image. And what I have found is that if I put text in the middle, it would chop off the text and make my grid look really bad. So I've started to play with putting text at the top and at the bottom for my cover photo. That way my grid still looks pretty. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to hit the done button in the upper right corner. And there we go. Now, last thing before I hit share is down below that you see where it says share to feed. I 100% recommend that you also share it to your Instagram general feed, because if you only share it to Reels, yeah, you're going to get some visibility, but not nearly as much as if you share it to your grid. So go ahead and share it to your grid as well. And then once you're ready to go, you're going to hit that share button and boom, you're live. Now, for the sake of argument, I'm going to come back all the way back, and I'm going to go back to my grid itself. So I'm going to close this out and I'm going to go to my account, okay, by pressing the home button. Hello, there we go. All right. So down here, if you look, see this image in the upper right hand corner? This is a reel right here. Do you see how it's a little clip in the upper right hand corner? You see the square? If I click on this, it's going to play my reel right there, and they can even click the button to say watch it in Reels. But if you look underneath my highlights, you see the grid, you see the Reels, IGTV, and your other notifications. So if I click on this, this is going to show me all of my Reels, and if you have anything saved in drafts, it's going to appear right there as well. So that's just a general overview of what Reels look like on the back end. That wasn't so scary, was it? You've already made posts on your Instagram grid and in your stories, so you can totally do Reels. Now, I know you're probably sitting there thinking like, well, okay, that was fun, but like, how do I do the fun stuff? All right, let's go ahead and flip back over to the phone again. I'm gonna show you how to use all of those fun features that you're dying to get your hands on. So let's talk about some of these fun features because they are my favorite. Now, the top one is your music. I have already selected a Taylor Swift song, but you're gonna be able to search for it just the same way you would with an Instagram Stories music sticker. Now, what I like about this is you can choose the exact clip of the music that you want. So check this out. You're gonna see my clip here at the bottom, so I can move it and grab the exact part of the song that I want. Now that I have that selected, I can go ahead and play around with some different types of movements. This right here is going to control how fast or slow you record. So normally if I'm talking, I'm gonna look pretty normal like this, but let me show you what happens if you do faster or slower. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that button, and you're gonna see this little bar pop up. This is normal time. This means faster, and this means slower. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 times the speed. And I want you to pay attention to what happens to the music when I record. Here we go. Did you hear how that was super slow? Obviously. Now let's go ahead and click on that again, and let's choose the halftime right there. And I want you to pay attention to what happens to the music now. Pretty to think, all along there was some invisible string. Now, that was faster and slower. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit this button right here to show you exactly what happened to my movements. This is what I look like when I'm talking normally, but check out what it looks like faster and slower. It's a fun way to add a little bit of a interesting element to your story, so don't be afraid to play with that. For this argument though, for this tutorial, I'm gonna go ahead and just do normal speed. Now right here, you can actually choose your filters just the same way you would in a story. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. And then I like to put my finger, I find when I try to actually like tap on these and swipe, it starts a recording, which is super obnoxious. So I like to tap almost like right below it, right down here to swipe over. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose my favorite one. There we go. This is one of my favorite filters to use. I love how it makes my blue eyes pop. All right, and that's what I'm gonna use. Now, if I wanna go ahead and record with this filter, I'm just gonna simply hold down that button the way I would for anything else. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. But I want to call your attention to these two bottom features because they're going to add a lot of fun to your story, in my personal opinion. All right. So I'm a musical person. I have a dance degree, and I like to make sure that any movements, any type I point or look or gesture, that it's in alignment with the music. I like it to be very musical. So I like to use this timer feature. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And now I'm going to be able to choose how much of that song I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and say I want this much right here. And I'm going to hit set timer. So now when I hit this record button, I'm going to get a 3, 2, 1 countdown. And I like to do that because then I can already like be in motion before it starts recording. So again, we don't have that awkwardness, but then it's going to also stop recording and it prevents me from going way too long, which happens all the time. So here we go, hitting my button. I have my 3, 2, 1. And there we go, I have my recording. And if I hit this button, I can see exactly what it looks like. See how that comes together? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and delete that last clip. And I'm gonna show you one more little thing that I love to use, and it's this feature right here. This is the alignment tool. So if you've seen the things or you've seen my reel where I like flipped my hair and I came back perfectly in sync, I'm gonna show you how to do that using this feature. So same process, I'm gonna go ahead and hit my filter, timer. I'm gonna choose the part of the song that I want and hit set timer. Now, I'm going to end in a place or a shape or a gesture that's going to be easy to reproduce on the next screen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that start button. 3, 2, 1, and so maybe I come up like this. Tying you to me. All right, so I ended up, maybe I'm going to do like tip number 3. So now here's what happens. Same process. Filter. Timer. Now I'm going to go to the end of the song, and now I'm going to hit this right here. So if I click on this, see how now there's like this ghost thing? So what I can do is I can get myself in place right about there, and I'm going to hit the record button. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So you can see how that align feature is actually really cool and adds an interesting element to your reels. Okay, hi. Are you finding this helpful? Make sure that you click the subscribe button around this video so that you don't miss anything. And if you want a special little freebie with love from me to you over on Instagram, go ahead and drop a comment below. Tell me what you are going to do for your first reel, or maybe your 10th, whatever, your next reel. Tell me what you are going to do, and make sure that you include your Instagram handle so I can send you a DM with one of my favorite freebies. Bye. Okay, one more thing that I want you to know before we go. The large majority of people watch Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and even quick little videos on silent. And I don't know about you, but I find that to be so silly, and then I do the same thing. So we always want to have text on any videos that we put, especially on stories and reels, because many people are going to watch it on silent. So I want you to make sure that you add some sort of caption so people know exactly, because of course you're adorable, duh, but I want people to know exactly why you're using reels and why they need to watch it, because you're using this to grow your business, right? You're not just doing this to grow your popularity. You want to make this make more money for your business. So let me show you exactly how to add text to make sure that your reel is perfect. Okay, so last step, I'm going to show you how to add text to your reel. Now, I've already recorded a little clip, and we're going to add on a title, one tip, and then some sort of ending. Now, you can obviously add more or less, but for the sake of what we're doing, I'm going to keep it very simple. So I've already recorded it, as you can see up here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this next button right down there. There's my story. Okay, now in the upper right-hand corner, do you see the text? You're going to go ahead and click on that like normal, and I'm going to say title. And I can make that larger. Of course, I had to giggle on that. And I can make it a different color. Now, watch what happens when I bring it down here. Do you see how there's that ghost text right over here? Well, this is going to display on my reel. And so if my title is here, then it's going to really be just really super noisy. So I'm going to go ahead and put my title right above where that text is going to be. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my tip. So I'm going to hit the text again, say tip 1, whatever smart tip you're going to put on your story. There we go. And so I'm going to pull this tip at the top. I'm going to angle it a little bit just for kicks, because why not? And then I'm going to go ahead and add the end. Now I'm gonna make that bigger and I'm gonna pull it off to my side. Now here's a little pro tip. You don't wanna have it too close to the edge because it's actually gonna get chopped off and it will look like that in your final reel. So I like to keep things a little bit farther away from the edge than I normally would. And I'm gonna make that a different color. Okay, now right now, all three of my word groupings are showing up on the whole video and that's not what I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on title. See how it's white now? And I can use my sliders to adjust how long I want this to be on my screen. So I'm gonna say I want it to end right about like there's pretty good. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna hit tip 1. Now I'm gonna edit tip 1 and I'm gonna make that appear like right about, oh, that's flattering, there. And I'm gonna have it disappear right about there. Okay, good. And then I'm gonna click on the ends and now that's gonna be right there. Now let's look at how it looks all together. Title, tip 1, the end. Look how smart you are. So now I'm gonna go ahead and hit the arrow at the bottom right corner. And now I'm here ready to add my captions, my @ mentions, my hashtags, my cover photo, and then share it to my Instagram account and boom, I'm live. And that's really all there is to it. You don't need to be worried about the perfection. You don't need to be worried about knowing every single thing or using every single feature. I just want you to get your first reel out there and glitter done so that way people can see how amazing your business is. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and come connect with me over on Instagram at sparkle.society so I can see the next reel that you make. Thanks for joining me. Bye.